Hello my real estate friends. Today in this video tutorial what we are going to discuss is website strategies that will rapidly increase your sales. Of course that sounds like a bunch of hyperbole, but bear with me as we go through this. I think you'll see that there's an enormous amount of tools that you can use as great talking points and mechanisms and strategies to be able to get your clients, customers, and leads to engage with you naturally, as opposed to having to do all that hard closing and qualifying constantly. You have to have a system that will work for you if you want to leverage your time. I will discuss all of the tools that come with it. This is a training video so that you can be able to see how you can use a tool such as your website to be able to expand your sales and your reach and minimize the amount of time involved trying to be able to build and grow your business. It's the advanced websites that I'm talking about primarily, and they come with an entire host of other tools and websites. As I say, I think you get 5 websites with this system. Who's this video for? Real estate agents that are hungry to grow their business without all of the guesswork. Yes, and there is a lot of guesswork when you get a website, because many people get a website and they think that this is what I have as a website, that's me, that's what represents me when I'm out there, and they leave it at that. This is about leveraging your time. A good website should be a system that enables you to have more time so that you can focus on your marketing and your prospecting, because generally that's what you should be doing as a realtor almost all day long. If you are not marketing and prospecting, then you should be presenting offers. And which leads me to consider this question. What do you think is more important? Presenting an offer, listing a house, or marketing and prospecting? I always treated prospecting and marketing as being my most important focal point of the day, because I can always adjust my appointments to be working around the times that I'm going to prospect. But if I bump out 2 hours of prospecting, I lose that 2 hours forever. The listing, it'll always be there. The offer, people will adjust their time for you. And we're going to leverage your time through automations. We're going to make the system work for you through value offers. And we're going to teach you how to use the system as a form of talking points so that you can more easily engage your clients and customers as you meet them. You have 40 plus semi-customizable designs with the system. There are 3 levels to choose from, and why we use the terminology semi-customizable is because we're not building a website skin from scratch. Now the skin is the wrap, and that should be probably the least important thing that you consider when you're buying a website, because we can create any wrap for you. The semi-customizable terminology, that comes from being able to move all of their different modules from one website to another. If you see something on a website, we can easily take it from that website and put it into place on your website. Because there's so many designs, we pretty much have all of the different modules and pieces that you see all over the internet in this system. We start off with the value website, but before I do that, I wouldn't mind talking about, well, a horse story. My father-in-law back in the day used to own about 30 horses. He was a professional horseman, and he raced at all the tracks around Toronto. And when he would go to the track, the way the track works is to keep people having their horse put into the right level of skill. You can't just decide that you're going to take a very fast horse, bring it down to a lower level so that, you win all the time. The game is played such that anybody can come along. If you go into the race, they can just buy your horse on you. Boy, that keeps you pretty honest and to try to keep at the best level. So one day he was very interested in a horse, and he said, "Do you want to come down to the stables? I'm going to go look. I'm interested in a horse." We went down to the stables, and I looked at that horse, and boy, it had such a pretty face. It just was the most beautiful horse I think I'd ever seen, and you just wanted to go over and rub it and scratch it and feed it, So when I was looking at this horse and we walked away, he said, "Boy, that's a really nice looking horse." And I said, "Yeah, it's really got a pretty face." And he chuckled at me, because it wasn't the face that he was referring to. He was talking about the shape of the horse, the lines in the horse, the muscular build of the horse, because at the end of the day, underneath all that prettiness is what is going to win the race. So when you have a website, you want to focus on what is behind the scenes. What is the back office going to do for you? Because if you don't, at the end of the day, your pretty website is just going to be a pretty website. And well, they say, as you know, you've heard in the past, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. So let's make sure that you focus on some of the tools that we're going to be talking about here today so that you can then determine if this is a good fit for you. If you have a website system now, you'll still be able to use these strategies that I talk about in here on your own system. All of these websites come with a DDX feed, and the DDX feed, it has, I guess, the DDF and the IDX feeds, pardon me, are feeds that are going to provide listings and stream on your website, so you have your entire board, or you can have multiple real estate boards depending if you're on borderlines of a situation where there are multiple boards around you. The IDX feed, the problem that I have with it is that you have to double opt-in, so that if you go to the system and a lead signs up, they have to go to their email to be able to approve it before that they can become a customer on your website. So therefore the dropout rate becomes very extensive, and you do not have enough time then to try to develop the relationship and a connection with them. So I kind of prefer the DDF feed, and it covers about 80% of Canada. Throughout the United States, we primarily use IDX feeds for all of the different boards. And the problem there then in the United States is they charge you $60 to $80 a month for the feeds. Now you also get with the Value website 250 monthly verified emails, meaning that every time an email comes into the system for you, you are going to have a chance that it's a spam email. So when you get a spam email, you want it quickly marked as a junk email. It's not valid. It's a fake email address. Because if you don't, once you start sending bulk emails and you send 3% or more of bulk emails, you get flagged as a spammer. And that's when you get those brackets or asterisks around the capital letters that say spam, and it arrives at your recipient's email address as a spam email. You don't want that, obviously. So we've built in a very sophisticated system that marks all of the emails that are spam so that you don't resend out to bad addresses. So the spam email verification system is paramount. And you can always buy more. There's a system in there where you can buy them. They're like a half a penny an email, so it's not that big of a deal. Now moving on is you have the photo and the video blogging, and if you're a realtor that's not spending a lot of money on advertising and you want to use your own photo and video strategies to be able to connect with people, and there's a lot of commissions that can be earned that way if you are good at doing what you are doing. Video is very, very prominent now, as you know. Everybody's doing them, and unfortunately most real estate agents, well, they're making a lot of mistakes, and that's something I will cover in a different video. And I don't mean mistakes in the terms of how you're doing the video and shooting the videos, and you got professional guys doing, overheads and drone shots and stuff. The lack of, well, I'll put it out there, is there's no voice in there. You're not discussing your video, so Google does not really know where to push that out to people, so you're losing all your organic traffic. Anyway, now special reports, tons of special reports. They come in there because people often like to engage, and that helps you qualify. When they sign up for a report, you know that that person's a buyer or a seller based on the report that they requested for themselves. The next little list here, the follow-up automation. Well, of course you need follow-up automation. The follow-up automation and the value level is limited to email. When you get up to the lead booker level, you have SMS texting and MMS texting, and all. That's a different package. Now the daily, weekly, new pricing, new listing updates, they get sent out all the time. Now I personally don't think that people do that specific area well. Most real estate agents let the system be too automated, so listings are getting sent out every day. And personally, I think it's a wonderful talking point to be able to reach out to people, find out when they're moving by using the strategy of letting them know that they're going to get listings sent every day. And if they're not moving for a couple years, maybe that'll be too heavy on their inbox, and they might like to have that adjusted to every week or two or even a month. That's going to tell you if the person's sincerely looking at moving soon without having to do that hard qualifying and closing. It's a beautiful strategy. You want to be able to make sure that you're delivering your listings at the right frequency, because if you don't, you become a listing spammer. And if you're just spamming with people, they're going to block you. They're going to mark you as junk. You just disappear again. And what's the point? So Facebook sharing and a banner maker. I think every time you get a listing or a great blog post, you should share it from your website. I see a lot of people today putting their listings up and they're putting them out on Facebook, but they're not connected back to their website. Well, you've lost your engagement potential. You might have your 20 friends or the odd stranger that sees that on Facebook, but you're not getting a very good return on your money or your investment in time. And remember, it's time that we're leveraging here. If you take and put your listings on your website, how much work does it take to push it and share it on Facebook? same amount of time. The cool thing is in the system that we have here, if you have 25 pictures on your listing, you can share once a day with a new photograph, making that the primary photograph so that it looks like a new listing every time you share it. And so can all of your team members. So there's lots of strategies that you can use here to build out your business without having to spend money. The showing feedback generator. This is really a cool tool, because what happens now when you get a listing, you are going to have to call up your your other agent buddies and gals that are showing your listings and ask for feedback. Well, this system here lets you put their name and their email address in, and it'll automatically follow up on them 3 times. Should they not provide feedback, there's even a mechanism that will automatically send that information to your seller that Joe Realtor did not provide feedback. I like to do that because it makes that agent look a little lazy without having to say they're lazy. And you get the benefit of that because they're not going to try to skin you on the next time your listing expires. The Value CRM comes with this particular package, and that's the last line on the right-hand side. And what the Value CRM is, it's a very good CRM, and it's great for people who are not really hustling and building out their lists and managing their prospecting and their marketing and stuff. I do have realtors in the system that tell me, James, I mean, I'm not interested in hustling. I'm retired. I want to have a website because I lost the listing last week because I didn't have a website. So don't be one of those people. It's easy to have a very inexpensive website running for you and still have the oomph and the pizzazz of being able to manage some of your lists. Now we get into the ClickDigs, and the ClickDigs system is another level up. You get 500 verified emails with this particular system, and you get the ClickDigs app, and that's why we call it the ClickDigs level. The ClickDigs home search app is exactly that. You get an app, it's like your digital business card. It's a fantastic talking point because you can introduce this particular tool to your leads or your customers, and even a seller, when they want to keep an eye on the neighborhood, you get to give them an app that goes on their phone. So you now own some of the most valuable real estate on the planet as far as digital marketing is concerned, and that's a space on the home screen of your real estate lead, prospect, customer, or client's phone. There you are. When they see something they like, they tap it, they have the information, and your branding and your contact information is a click or two away. I think it's essential, and I don't think it's the kind of thing you want to do. I see too many realtors making the mistake today. Just this week, I know a realtor is 20 years in the business, top of his sign, coming soon to realtor.ca. Okay, I'm going to take my glasses off for this one. Slap yourself in the forehead if you're one of those people that do that, because you are losing all of the leverage that you could possibly have by putting it out there as a coming soon listing and bringing people back to your website. I'll cover a little more on that shortly. Now, you get a share page with this website, a share ClickDigs page. It's a sign-up page that you can put on your phone and text message. You get a little picture of yourself on your phone so you can't miss it. You text it off to the lead or the customer, and then you get to follow up and have conversations about how they can use it. See, prospecting isn't about qualifying and closing. Good prospecting is about having really good conversations, offering great value to them, and in that time of developing value and providing value, you become naturally the agent that they particularly want to work with, because it's pretty obvious, you know what you're doing. Let's move on down here. A testimonial generator is a tool that you get to send to all of your buyers and sellers after you've worked with them so that they can write a nice testimonial for you without having to do the initial follow-up. I did that with every buyer and every seller I ever worked with. And my peak, I was doing 175 deals a year, and this is like 15, 20 years ago. So I was back before all of this technology. Think about it. My budget back then was $80,000 a year for marketing. Boy, that was a lot of money 20 years ago. And today you could do that on a tenth of the cost of that. I mean, literally 10% the cost today to run your business and market like crazy and, have leads and everything coming in. So anyway, testimonial generator, I think it's a must-have. You want to have a page of all your testimonials so people can see what it is that you are about, because when they do decide to choose you as a realtor, they will probably go and look at that stuff. The built-in unlimited coming soon websites. Now, I just mentioned briefly, coming soon to realtor.ca. Please don't be one of those people and that is just so weak a method to be able to market yourself properly. We use what we have. I was going to call it a countdown website because there's a countdown timer on there. You get to get all of the early business in the neighborhood. You get to market it to the neighborhood if you want to do postal zone marketing. In your listing presentation, if the person needs a few weeks to get the house ready, you can tie up the listing. You can show the person. Now, I think a lot of people are making a mistake, and I have a training video on this one. People are saying, offers presented on Tuesday. I think that's a dramatic misstep, because what ends up happening now, I just had a friend who had their house put up as a coming soon listing, offers coming in on such and such a day. 3 or 4 days later, they were in the fetal position in the bed because they didn't have any offers. So I think there's a better way, and that better way is to be able to put yourself out there as a coming soon listing on such and such a date, coming soon to the MLS, not coming soon presenting offers. Offers, that's obvious. But when it's going to the MLS in 3 weeks and then people see that countdown clock coming, you get to build your list of high inventory people. These people are going to salivate at the thought that they won't get the house, and they're calling you to sign up to do this. You could build the numbers of eager buyers, and it's in such a dramatic way that it's something that you should really pay attention to and consider here and change the way, because I think 90% of realtors are doing it wrong right now. On to the next one. Now on to the lead booker level, and this is where we get 2,500 verified emails. And again, too, I have people who come in and they're sending out 10 and 20,000 emails a month, so they buy the bigger package to be able to do what it is that they're trying to do when they're generating business. The lead booker level is a CRM. It comes with the lead booker package, obviously, and it's a CRM that is right up at the top in the industry. It shows you who's looking, when they're looking, how often they're looking. If they choose a favorite, you can adjust their searches, everything online. So it's your focal point. Now you get the ClickDigs app, you've got your lead booker with the lead booker app, and now you have these people that are engaged in your system, and you want to keep them coming back to your system. You don't want, in my opinion, you do not want to be pushing them to the real estate board system until you get them on an agency agreement, because if you're pushing them into the system, that's what every realtor can do. You don't have the leverage of being able to meet people in a natural, fundamental way to be able to build up that relationship, because closing is easy when you condition people. When you condition people, and there's something else we provide with this, is called the conditioning method. There's a training that we do with all of this. That's just one of the trainings. Anyway, that's not what this is all about at this point. So let's talk about here now the automated speed dialer. I think that is an essential thing, because, well, one of the things that this system does is it'll show you the time of day people are looking. So you could hypothetically be going at 6 o'clock to do a listing presentation, and you get a ping that the people are not going to be ready until 6:30 because one of them's stuck in traffic. Well, you could sit there and pout, or you could go and have a drink at a bar, or you could get yourself on the phone down the road, pull up your hottest list of people who are looking at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then start to speed dial through them. You have 5 or 10 people that you can buzz through, pick 2 or 3 people who pick up at that time of day. That's amazing. And think about this now. If this system pulls up people that are looking at a specific time of day, ask yourself, when is the best time to be able to communicate with those people? It's at the time of day that they go on the system, because then they're going to be more likely to engage in conversation and develop that natural relationship with you. So SMS texting and automations, these are cool. The SMS texting, because it's automated, and this isn't new. I mean, there are other systems that do this out here, but we've taken it one step further by adding the iVoiceCast system, so that you can create, and if you're not comfortable, we can get a voiceover artist literally for like $15 a message or something, and they will put on a message in your name or as part of your team, and it'll just be introducing yourself and nudging them in the right direction. A lot of being able to prospect properly is to get people to move in the direction that you want them to go until they're ready to be closed. People don't like being qualified and closed until they're ready for it. Remember that, until they're ready for it. And there's a band right there. And if you get them in that band, and if you try too soon, You lose unless they're there. And I get people say, yeah, I close them on the first call. Yeah, good luck with that. How many do you get? When 50% of people are moving over the course of 18 months, that means that 50% of people, some will move this month, some will move 6 months, some will move 9 months, and all the way up to 18 months. 50% of people that you meet on the internet will move over 18 months. So you want to have a pipeline building conditioning method that gets these people ready, puts them in place, and if they're not going to be ready to move in 2 years, I don't want to spend all this time. They say that literally 80% of your business also comes after the 6th conversation. Conversations can be email, text, and phone. So when you're following up on these people, you want to be able to put them in the right place. If they're not moving for a year and a half, I don't want to talk to you 6 times this week, but I want to talk to you a few times to get you into my pipeline, because it's down the road a year and a half. Everybody who's ever been in this business that I talk to, they go, wow, did time fly? This is the next list. You get the iChatBack bubble. The iChatBack bubble is a text messaging feature where when people are on your website and they see something, they can text message you right away. Another way of getting a name and a number, and also getting people who are eager right now. If you have a team, one person, you, one team member, or 20 team members, they all get their own website associated to your main master website. You get pre-construction websites. So if you know a development that's going in, most developers will let you market their properties while you get to put a pre-construction website on your website to market their development. Standalone Gold Rush Leads webpage. This is a standalone that's included with this bundle, and that's for targeting buyers on Google. I know some people say that, Google leads are no good. I think it's the follow-up that's bad. Because I have people who have been with me for 10 years, they're doing over $1 million. I have one gentleman, and I'll talk about it a little later, $200,000 he made this year in the first 2 months. This stuff works if you do it right. GoPro Seller Leads, that's for Facebook seller leads. We do a Facebook campaign and drive traffic for sellers. The single address websites is a new tool, and this is good for big featured listings that are going to be around a little while. If I had a listing in my marketplace that I knew was going to take several months to sell, and I want to remember now, all of these things that I'm talking about here today go into your listing presentation too. If you're doing a Google campaign for buyers, make it part of your listing presentation. There's another video that I'll discuss on listing presentations, but this one here, the single address website gets you to have moving videos and moving pictures and all of this fancy stuff. It shows you the statistics of people who are looking, how often they're looking. You can put a single address website on the sign so that people will go to just that listing. Really, really cool stuff. Now, the other thing that I like about this one here is you get to choose a new design annually. I know people from time to time, they want a new website just to get a fresh look or whatever. Well, because there's 40 plus designs and they're semi-customizable, you get to choose each year a new website. Who's using the system? Sandra Pike, top 1%, Royal LePage World, 154 deals this year. I've worked with her for probably 8 years, and she gave me a compliment once. She said, James, what I like about working with you and selling tools is that I know that you really care about my business. That one made me feel good, because sometimes you're reaching out and you're asking people for testimonials. These testimonials, when they come like that, they're from the heart. I love it. Ryan Hodge, one of the top guys I know, like broker, owner, speaker, coach, author, hockey dad of 3 kids. I don't know how he can go make $1 million in commissions with the system. And this year he's told me that after he gave me this testimonial, he had done $200,000 in the first 2 months of the year. Pretty cool. When you can do that kind of money, it's because of the systems and following up and doing the things that are correct within the system and taking advantage of them. Garen Simonian, he started out with me. He said, I was a little skeptical because James said that I was going to be really busy and have more than I could handle. 700 deals later. 10 years ago he started. Jeff Morgan, I mentioned Jeff a little while ago, but how he's one of the fellows who learned to really build his pipelines, good solid pipelines, and he constantly tells me, James, I just did another deal again today. That person was in the system for 3 or 4 years. Because the system, when you build it right, looks after them and keeps them glued to you. Julie Wilson, very interesting story here. Julie moved from Ontario, went to BC, and then when she got to BC, her partner passed away. And boy, you imagine that, moving across the country and you're in a new market, now you have to hit the ground running. Well, she had the selling tools system to be able to put out all of this in order, and she did hit the ground running as a very successful realtor in her own right. Wayne Cornfield's been with me forever, 13,000 leads, and he lets the system do all of the work for him to get the deals that he does. Kevin Lewis, He's a newer fella in the system in the last year and a half or so, and he said once you start seeing the leads coming in, you know that there's going to be a huge return on your investment. Jim Booten, another fellow's been with me forever, number 6 Keller Williams, 30 deals a year he does with the Selling Tools system. Again, it's just following up and building the proper pipeline. Keith Bishop, I've never been busier. And that was after 6 months of being with the system, using the proper websites to be able to pull in your business and being able to have it set up so that it nurtures people. Glenn Tompkins, he told me that way back in the early 2000s and whatnot, mid 2000s, maybe he was, getting into internet leads and using the internet as part of his business. And he said it never gelled, it never stuck. And he came in with a new mindset. He said now that after he followed the coming soon strategy on one particular listing, he ended up getting 6 sales out of it because he used that as the leverage. And when I'm talking about people who are not leveraging themselves properly in the coming soon area, that putting it out to realtor.ca and not getting people to come back to your website, like how do you meet them when they go to realtor.ca where all of the piranha and the wolves are trying to devour your lead? There's a way to do it that works, and there's a way to do it that just sucks. So follow the methods that work, and you're going to be able to be successful as all of these guys. Goran Todorovic, number 1 RE/MAX team. He's got a huge office. Now he's built it up to 50, 60, I think. Another great testimonial. I'd spoke for Goran 4 times, and I once listened to a speaker. He spoke for the company that I think was probably RE/MAX back in the day. He said, well, this is the 2nd time that I've been here speaking for RE/MAX. You'll probably never see me again because nobody ever hires you twice. Goran hired me 4 times to speak for his company in his referral group, and he made a comment once that resonated with me. He says, and he's talking to himself sort of, he says, he always delivers. Wow, I love that testimonial. Now this one here is one of my favorites, and I could not use the individual for obvious reasons, so I put it up as anonymous. And I won't even say it out loud. You'll have to read that one just because I don't feel like saying those words out loud here on video. Anyway, just to show you that it's the real deal, this is the text message that we got going back and forth. I reached out and I said, it's a great testimonial because I use it with a little wink at the end. And he says, no, I will write you a more PC one. What is all of this going to cost you? I mean, there's always a cost to all of this stuff. It's just the way it is, right? So if you're going to purchase monthly a website package, the value level is 44, the ClickDigs level is 69, and the Lead Booker level is $119.99 per month. If you pay monthly, there's going to be a $399 setup fee. And then if you go down and you pay annually, you're going to save a lot of money. On the annual package, you'll save, well, it's $34.59 or $99.99 a month on the 3 levels. So you're automatically going to save money there. You're going to save another $199 or $200, I guess, on the setup fee if you pay annually. In total, that'll turn out to being over $400 and almost $500 in the first year that you save by paying annually. And one of the reasons why I do this is because I sold real estate for 20 years. And after a while, I got tired of everybody going so deep into my pocket that it was hard to make a profit in the end. And so you had to really scramble and choose your deals and your marketing and your strategies wisely. So I've tried to put something together here that really works for everybody. And there's a price line and a price point for everyone. How much is a website like yours really worth? Like, what is it really worth if you bought a package like this? And just to give you an idea, if you were to go in and buy the Lead Booker CRM and website, the primary website, that's $50 a month, just cut it the way it is. And all of these prices, by the way, I have set them so that they are not expensive. I made sure they're lower than if you went out and Googled this stuff, you'll find that they're lower than the price points because I didn't want someone to say, well, yeah, they're embellished a little, but they're not. These are actually lower. So the prices I'm giving you here are actually higher. So if you take a look at this, the Lead Booker CRM is $60 a month. I know that others that are $150 a month. So that's not a lot of money. The ClickDigs app plus all your team get this too, by the way. They all get their own app to share and their own branding within your team. That's a $40 a month app if you were to purchase that. The feedback generator is $25. The testimonial generator is $25. You get your voice text, the iChat back and the SMS texting. That's all. It's the $25 a month to be able to get a system like that. Your speed dialer. I know people buy Mojo and things like that. That costs money to be able to have all of these tools, and they're all built into one easy go-to place. mass mail and smart lists so that you can build smart lists within your system. If you have a series of sellers, buyers, expireds, FSBOs, whatever, you can set up smart lists for your email. That's a $25 package. Let's see, what do we got? Photo and video blogging. Go buy a blog, set it up properly. It's 25 bucks. I mean, these systems here where you can add in video and photographs and thumbnails for sharing on Facebook. There's a $25 package. Unlimited coming soon websites. I've got them listed here at 25 bucks. That's probably worth, I don't know. I don't even know a price to put on it, but it's worth a lot more than that. Pre-construction websites, 25 bucks. Team member websites, 25 bucks. Gold Rush leads for Google. I think I sold them for 40, but I have them here for 25 bucks. The GoPro Seller Leads websites for Facebook, another $25. That works out to $450 monthly for only $99 a month, paid annually. Think about it. You're getting a $450 website bundle. If you had to go around and piecemeal all these together from other companies, that's what you're getting here. So you're still saving that nearly that $500. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just because I know it's one of those things when you're buying something, if you're not sure and you don't have any time to check it out, and you get nervous, right? I mean, I do. And if I know I can get something with a guarantee, if I like it, great. If I don't, well, it wasn't a lot of time lost to check something out and make sure that it's something that is going to fit well with me. You also get the Commission Gusher training, which is included. It's a course that I regularly sold for $999. That's just one of the training levels here. Now, this training comes with all of these different modules. There's like 24 different modules in there, and it's all designed. You're also going to get the lead booker training, the conditioning method training. There's a whole bunch of trainings that go with all of this stuff. This video has one extreme limitation. Your business is unique, and it's nothing like a franchise burger. If I go down and get a Big Mac, well, I know every time I go get a Big Mac, that's what it's going to be. I don't have a lot of Big Macs in my diet, but I periodically don't mind going in and mowing down on a Big Mac. The individual nature of this business is one of the beautiful things about real estate that lets us be able to determine what it is that we would like to do. The biggest reason for failure, and 6 deals a year is the average, that's failure in my books, is because people do not discipline themselves and have a strategy. So if you would like to have a results-oriented strategy session with me about your business personally, reach out, because there's so much more here that we have to offer. That leads us to having you, it's in your ballpark now, you have to reach out to me and book a call. On this page someplace, if you're watching on YouTube, it could be in the link below, it could be, I guess, up in your top right. If it's a marketed video, there's a little tab up there you can click on. Sometimes it's on the video. It'll be around here someplace that will lead you to a sign-up page where you can book a call. We'll take 30 minutes, discuss your business personally. And even if it's not a good fit, it will be a half-hour free training session for you to set you up so that you know what direction you should be taking your career path, whether it be working with Selling Tools and myself personally, or whether it be sticking where you are now and just, enjoying life the way you do. My name is James Osmar, and I'm with Selling Tools, and I look forward to having a results-oriented strategy session with you.